Kenny Durutulu. We bring you the headlines. Of course, take your reactions to the headlines, all the things happening in the country at this time, especially as reported by the papers this morning. Of course, I have with me the Punch newspaper, the Premium Times, the Daily Post, as well as a bunch of other papers. Start over with the Nation newspaper this morning. Headline here, that's a featured one. Akpabio Abbas lawmakers will back Tinubu to deliver. Also, I have this one. Investors gain 3.28 trillion naira in 3 weeks. More stories here. CBN. Okay, CBN restrictions on domiciliary account operations. CBN lifts restrictions on domiciliary account operations is the headline there. Former aspirants call for inclusion in governance. PSC OK's guidelines on deployment of police officers by IGP. Alleged defamation. Ex-Enugu Assembly Majority Leader sues ex-NHRC boss. I'll take some more headlines from the Nation. Freudian slip is an editorial piece here. Opinion piece. Emefiele's exit. Deliverance by Tinubu administration. I pardon all is another editorial piece from the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, and we take a look at the headlines from the Punch newspaper. Manager arraigned for stealing 32 million naira from Lagos company. Edo police rescue 3 abductees from kidnappers' den. Operators kick as National Assembly workers exit contributory pension scheme. And subsidy, Labour threatens strike. Resumes talks with federal government. There's a rider. Pains become unbearable. Strike suspended, not called off. NLC TUC. CBN removes saving withdrawal limits on domiciliary accounts. NUT lambast governors as teacher shortage rises. Power projects, federal government secures $750 million World Bank loan. All right, and some more stories here. This one says custom arrests Kebbi man, sees 64.6 million naira smuggled items. US-based prince unfolds plan for a laugh in stool. Stock investors raking 1.7 trillion naira in 1 week. Rising costs, low demand threaten e-hailing logistics sector. Delta crash claims 3 lives, injures others. Institutes advocates waste management policy. Police recover firearm ammunition from armed robbery suspect in Enugu. Children of late Bayelsa football supporters get scholarship. Student loans, a game changer for education financing. That's on the editorial side of the Punch newspaper. We'll take a couple more before we move to another one. Lagos court remands 11 suspects for murder. Attacking Kanu will bring you down, IPOB tells Asari Dokubo. And finally, Plateau government imposes 24-hour curfew in local government over terrorist attacks.
Over to the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. I never compromised my office. Justice Bolkachua breaks silence. Dol Hijjah Crescent cited. Muslims observe INT'L June 28 in Saudi. Elsewhere, the beauty of Nigeria's democracy, the NDIC-CBN Tango. 9th Assembly, low performance against high expectations. There's another one there from the Daily Trust this morning. Intrigues as Nasarawa Assembly crisis festers. Jigawa Assembly leadership and the matters arising. Also from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 4 days ago, over 15,000 Nigerian pilgrims yet to be airlifted. Domiciliary account, CBN lifts restriction on cash deposit, allows $10,000 daily withdrawals. Crisis rocks Imo PDP as 7 SWC members resign, dump party. Osimhen hits brace as Super Eagles qualify for 2023 AFCON. Homeowners cry out as Kano government marks houses for demolition. FCT residents want more healthcare provision. How Benin Republic is feeling heat of Nigeria's subsidy removal. Lawan didn't allow me finish my thoughts. Bokochiba clarifies remarks about why. If we take this last one, how Alia's candidate defeated Akumes to emerge Benue Speaker.
All right, our first story from the Vanguard newspaper, Islamization comment, El Rufai should be invited by DSS, MBF, Tinubu's cabinet in fighting as APC leaders jostle for ministerial roles. And some more stories from the front page, Kwara boat mishap. And this one says, it's not so clear, but I'll try to take it. NIWA blames windy rain, overloading lack of navigational aid. NG President Atiku Saraki Oyebanji Sanwo-Olu congratulates Eze Anaba. Electricity, 58% of consumers without meters. This is coming from NERC. 24 hours curfew declared in Plateau local government area. Islamization comment, I've taken that before. Cabinet, all right, there are riders to this one. This cabinet infighting as APC camps pitch for ministerial jobs. Riders says lobbyists besiege Aso Rock. President may send list to Senate July 4. Special advisors may supervise ministers. 10th Senate disclose pensions paid to you as ex-governors. Serap tells Akpabio, others, subsidy removal. Stabilize economy before new minimum wage. NECA tells the federal government. Manufacturers, from the financial side, manufacturers spend 144.5 billion naira on self-generated power in 1 year. All right, on Forex, this one says allow customers free access to domiciliary account funds. CBN orders banks. And some more economy. Nigerians power generators with cooking gas. Bandits kill local chief, his 4 children in Kaduna. To the sports side, Villarreal demand 13 billion naira for Chukwueze. And finally, this one says, I'm just going to take it real quick. It says on the Vanguard, still on the political side, NG election at Atiku and Peter Obi congratulates Naba, others.
Over to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, CBN gives update on operational changes issued to FX market. Sultan declares June 28th INT'L Adha. 10th Assembly will work with Tinubu to create favorable business climate. That's according to Akpabio. Nigeria's education system under severe threat. NANS. The FCC declares Matawali wanted. More stories here. I'm committed to providing best healthcare facilities in Niger. Governor Bago, factional LP chairman Abure to appear in court Tuesday. Arabambi. Mass resignation hits Imo PDP as 7 members dump party. Ketco gives update on power supply shortage in Kano, Katsina, Jigawa. Ex-Commissioner Adidiji's appointment well-deserved. Oyo APC. Akilmi additional. Revolutionized agric sector as Nigeria's minister, agribusiness expert. Ogun Guba, Chijioke Emeka to lead legal team of NMPP's Ajadi at appeal court. Kogi lawmaker lauds Yahya Bello for prioritizing youth's welfare. Police arrest 3 suspects, recover vehicles parts in Delta, and NACON refutes state board's allegation over Hajj saving scheme enrollees.
All right, taking a look at Vanguard real quick before the Guardian, I beg your pardon, before we go on another break. This one says households, that's the major story on the Guardian, households under pressure as new electricity tariff due July 1. First over bill to regulate Christian preaching. 10th National Assembly disclosed pensions paid to U.S. ex-governors. Serap tells Akpabio, others. Petrol subsidy, government labor resume negotiations on implementation framework. I was poisoned at PDP office, suffered liver kidney failure, says Wike. Amid subsidy removal pains, experts advocate long-term benefits. And finally, on The Guardian, professionals deplore high cost of treatment as World Sickle Cell Day holds. Let's go on that break now. When we return, we'll be back with some more.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9. ọmọ ikọ̀ ẹ̀yìn gan lásán.
ẹ wo mo ti lo oògùn ó ti sú mi.
yé àṣìlò oògùn ìyẹn ò dáa.
kí ni kí n wá ṣe nígbà tí mi ò lówó ilé ìwòsàn.
kí ni nígbà tí ètò ìlera INT'L and Axamansard wà nílẹ̀. òótọ́ ni pẹ̀lú ètò ìlera INT'L Axamansard o láǹfààní láti rí dókítà gba ìwòsàn àtọwọ́ ìwòsàn tó tó ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgọ́rùn-ún náírà. testa 141*44# báyìí láti yan ètò tó tẹ́ ọ lọ́rùn.
INT'L, a reason to imagine.
Nǹkan tí mo bá ṣe ò ní fẹ́ mi láì ní òdiwọ̀n. Ó tó gbẹ́kẹ̀lé lójoojúmọ́. Kò sóhun tí mo bá ṣe ó fi fẹ́ hàn mí.
Ìfẹ́ tí kò lábàwọ́n ni ìfẹ́ ìyá jẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí ohun tó dùn tó bíi Indomie alájẹpọnu lákànlọ́. Nítorí náà, fi ìfẹ́ hàn pẹ̀lú Indomie.
Ó fi fẹ́ hàn mí.
Makole marale.
Ọdún iléyá wọlé wẹ́rẹ́ bá wa láàyè ìdẹ̀ra alihamdulilayi. Iléeṣẹ́ Zenith Real Estate and Properties Limited ló ní kẹ́ẹ̀rà lẹ̀kẹ́ ẹgbẹ̀rún ọdún promo idli kabri lélẹ́yìí OPP ó pọ̀ pa. Ẹ̀dínwó ti wà lórí àwọn ilẹ̀ estate wa pátá o. Kings Park Estate Maniya Ìbàdàn 1.4 million naira. Achievers Estate ní Ìdó 700,000 naira. Sun City Estate Alabata Maniya Ìbàdàn 1.5 million naira. Rehoboth Park and Garden Estate Elekuru Maniya 800,000 naira. Treasure Land Estate ní òpópónà Funab Alabata Abẹ́òkúta 150,000 naira. Greenland Estate Phase 1 Alabata Abẹ́òkúta 300,000 naira. Bó o bá ṣe ń sanwó láò fún ẹ nílẹ̀ rẹ táwọn sì ṣe corner piece fún ọ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Ìwọ náà wá ralẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wa kó o gbẹ̀bùn bíi ẹran àgbò ìrẹsì òróró fan amómitutù àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. June 11 sí July 11 ní promo yìí wà fún o. Zenith Real Estate and Properties Limited wà ní dojúkọ IITA lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Àrẹ̀mú Block Industry Ọjọ́ Mọ́níyà Road Ìbàdàn. Fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ 081-410-39905 tàbí kó WhatsApp wọn lórí 081-409-42376. Zenith Real Estate and Properties Limited. Baka Disala.
Right. So guys, this is the plan. We go in at sunrise and we attack without mercy. Glow World Shops won't see us coming. Taye, you are to make sure we get all the best phones, all right?
Yes, boss.
Lara, you have to make sure that we don't miss the 18GB bonus deals for 6 months.
Understood, sir.
Chigozie, your job is to draw up the payment plan. Codename Pay Small Small. Chigozie, are you sleeping? Chigozie.
Relax. There's enough time for you to get your preferred smartphones and enjoy sweet deals at Glow World. Walk into any Glow World shop, your one-stop shop for devices and gadgets, and get 18GB bonus data when you buy your phone, which you can pay for at your convenience.
Glow Unlimited.
ẹni tí ò bá mọ̀nà kì í dá pàdépàdé a jẹ́ pé gbogbo ẹni tó bá ń dàrọ̀kọ̀ àti lọ gbé kàwé tàbí ṣiṣẹ́ lókè òkun léyìíkéyìí orílẹ̀-èdè bíi Canada, UK, Cyprus, Australia tó fi mọ́ ọ̀pọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè ní Europe. Bauhop Consult ni ẹ bá dòwò pọ̀ bí wọ́n ṣe mójúlẹ́jà àti bániṣètò ìrìn àjò sókè òkun ni wọ́n tún jẹ́ aṣojú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ nílẹ̀ aláwọ̀ funfun fẹ́nikẹ́ni tó bá fẹ́ kàwé nílùú òyìnbó wọ́n ń bániṣètò iṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú ìrànwọ́ ètò ẹ̀yáwó fákẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìyẹn student loan tó fi mọ́ scholarship bí ọgọ́ làwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó bá ṣe IELTS lọ́dọ̀ wọn ṣàṣeyọrí àjẹpẹ́ boko bá jìnnà ẹ̀ lákìíkò. Bauhop Consult wà ní nọ́mbà 55 Liberty Stadium Road àdójúkọ Lano House off Òkè Àdó Ìbàdàn. ẹ̀ka wọn sì wà ní 15/17 Solaron Plaza Akówọjọ Road Ẹ̀gbẹ́dá nípínlẹ̀ Èkó. Fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ pè 0815-677-6425 website www.bauhopconsult.com.ng. wọ́n wà lórí ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ gbogbo Twitter, Facebook àti Instagram @Bauhop Consult. kọ́kọ́rọ́ tó ṣílẹ̀kùn àti tẹkọ̀ létí lọ sókè òkun.
Ó ga o, eléyìí tó jí wá láàárọ̀ kùtùkùtù yìí mo ti rò pé ṣe lòun fíláàṣì mi nígbà tí ìpè rẹ wọlé sórí aago.
fíláàṣì rẹ kẹ̀ ọpọ́n tèmi ti sún o lọ́tẹ̀ yìí èmi ni mo máa ṣàyè fún ẹ ó yá lọ múra.
Dúró náà o, àbí gbẹ̀bù ti dé ni.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o, Zenith Better Life promo ti padà dé pẹ̀lú sáà kẹta mo sì jẹ káàdì ẹ̀bùn oní ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà àádọ́jọ náírà.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́lẹ́ ni Zenith Bank ń pín ẹ̀bùn tó tó ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà àádọ́jọ náírà fún àwọn oníbàárà ogún ní ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì nínú Zenith Better Life promo ti sáà kẹta. Láti lè kópa rọra ṣí àkáǹtì Zenith Bank kí o sì fi ó kéré jù ẹgbẹ̀rún 5 náírà sílẹ̀ sínú ẹ̀. Béèrè kí o sì gba káàdì Zenith Bank yálà aláfojúrí tàbí torí ayélujára. Lẹ́yìn náà dáńlóòdù kí o sì forúkọ sílẹ̀ lórí Zenith Bank app tàbí kó o forúkọ sílẹ̀ fún *966# easy banking. Ìpolongo yìí bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ọjọ́ kìíní oṣù kẹfà ọdún 2023 títí di ọjọ́ kọkànlélọ́gbọ̀n oṣù kẹfà ọdún 2024. Àǹfààní yìí ṣí sílẹ̀ fún oníbàárà tuntun àti títẹ́lẹ̀. Ìgbésẹ̀ àti ìlànà wà o. Zenith Bank, fún àǹfààní ara rẹ.
Ìbàdàn máa jẹ̀gbín yó ọmọ àfikàràmù fọ́ orí mu. Samsung ti dé pẹ̀lú àwọn ìfilọ́lẹ̀ tó jẹ tí ń gbèsè. Gba Bluetooth speaker ohun àǹfẹ̀tì gbóni gbọ́rọ̀ àti power bank alágbára lọ́nà ẹgbẹ̀rún 20 mílíọ̀nù per hour. Tó o bá ra ẹ̀yà ẹ̀rọ Samsung A series tá a yàn. Wàá tún gba aago ìbọ̀wọ́ Samsung Watch 5 tó o bá ra ẹ̀yà S23 series àbí Samsung Watch 5 Pro tó o bá ra Flip 4 àbí Fold 4. Yára ṣàṣà lọ sí ibùsọ̀ Top Success Store kó tó tán lẹ̀. Má sọ pé àwọn olólobó ìfilọ́lẹ̀ yìí ń bẹ tọ́jà òfin wà ńlẹ̀ àdéhùn àti àsọtẹ́lẹ̀ ń bẹ o.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
Glad to have you back with us. 32 FM 94.9, 40 minutes to 7 o'clock. The Break It Down paper review. I'm Kenny Durutilu.
And I am DENIKE Ademwago. We take some of the stories this morning, and this one from the Guardian newspaper says Nigerians may need to brace up for tougher times as electricity tariff is set to increase by over 40% in the coming days, a development which may eventually end all forms of energy subsidy in the country. With a monthly subsidy of about 50 billion naira still in the electricity sector owing to revenue shortfall, the tariff hike due from July 1 may be another acid test for the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration market reform. And although the power sector players have been unable to meet the threshold of supplying at least 5,000 megawatts a year after signing contracts with NEC, NEC's current service-based tariff, that is SBT, was benchmarked on an exchange rate of 441 naira to a dollar, and coming at as the metering gap remains at over 7 million. Gas prices, losses, and natural generation capacity are other elements in determining the tariff. So we're looking at another 40% increase in the coming days.
All right, over to the Punch newspaper. I have this headline: Inflation rose 67 times under Emefiele. That's according to a report from the Punch this morning. Let's bring you the details now. Nigeria's inflation rate rose not less than 67 times since June 2014, according to findings by the Punch. Analysis of the inflation rate data provided by the Central Bank of Nigeria also showed that the Consumer Price Index was 8.2% in June 2014, when the suspended CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, took office. The story goes further to read a breakdown of the number of times inflation rose, shows that it rose thrice between June and December 2014. By 2015, inflation rose 10 times, except in July and October of that year. Inflation rate became worsened in 2016 as Nigeria hit a double-digit figure of 11.38% in February of that year, and inflation was on the rise throughout the year, rising 12 times. The economy entered a recession in 2016, the first one under the suspended CBN boss. That's a report from the Punch newspaper. Inflation rose 67 times under Emefiele.
All right, we move to the Guardian still. We're still on the Guardian. Imo ex-governor Okorocha escapes assassination. Orderly killed. Former governor of Imo State, Rochas Okorocha, has escaped attempted assassination after hoodlums attacked his convoy. It was reported that the Enugu State governor, Peter Amba, had released vehicles and security men to take Okorocha and his team to Imo State for the burial of mother of the past governor of the state, Emeka Ihedioha. This was after Okorocha had spent 2 days in Enugu State attending the burial ceremony of the wife of the former Senate President, Ken Nnamani. The hoodlums, according to this Guardian report, killed one of the orderlies and kidnapped the CSO, the chief security officer, as well as the driver in the convoy during the attack. And Okorocha was reportedly confirmed the assassination attempt on him yesterday, and says that according to this, and I quote, the cop killed was one of the policemen deployed by the Enugu State Government House to take me to the burial ceremony of Emeka Ihedioha's mother Friday. He described the attack as unfortunate, saying he was embittered because he was safe in Enugu only to be attacked and a security man attached to him killed in his own state.
All right, still with the Punch newspaper this morning. Headline here: Federal government summons oil marketers set to close equalization fund. Now, following the deregulation of the downstream petroleum industry, the federal government has begun the process of closing down the Petroleum Equalization Fund, the Punch has learned. Now, the move, it was gathered, was in line with the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. It was also gathered that the meeting held in Abuja between officials of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and oil marketers on Wednesday deliberated on the closure of the fund. The officials and marketers discussed the reconciliation of the PF accounts and plans to close it in the next 1 month. Headline: Federal government summons oil marketers set to close equalization fund. You can send your thoughts to us on Facebook. We're live on Facebook right now. That's 32FM 949 Ibadan. Your comments, thoughts, contributions are welcome. All right, over to the Daily Post. I never compromise my office. Justice Bolkachua breaks silence is a headline out of the Daily Trust. I beg your pardon. Now, Justice Zainab Bolkachua, wife of Adamu Bolkachua, senator who represented Bauchi North in the 9th Assembly, has defended her judicial integrity. Okay, according to this report, she was reacting to comments by her husband that he used his position to ask favor for his colleagues from his wife, the immediate past president of the Court of Appeal. Bolkachua, on the floor of the Senate at the valedictory session of the 9th Assembly, had said, and I quote, "I look at the faces in this chamber whom have come to me and sought for my help when my wife was the president of the Court of Appeal, and I'm sure. And I must thank particularly my wife, whose freedom and independence I encroached upon while she was in office. And she has been very tolerant and accepted my encroachment and extended a help to my colleagues." That's the story out of the Daily Trust newspaper. It goes further to say Bolkachua's comment had elicited outrage, with Olisa Agbakuba, former president of Nigeria Bar Association, NBA, calling for the arrest of the former lawmaker.
All right, I will take a look at this story from the Daily Post. I was poisoned at PDP Secretariat. My liver, kidney shut down. Wike. Former Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State on Sunday disclosed that he was poisoned at the Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in 2018. Wike said the poison affected his liver and kidneys, adding that it almost killed him but for God's intervention. He disclosed this during a special Thanksgiving service organized by his family at the St. Peter's Deanery. And he says the former governor said he was flown to Beirut at midnight, where doctors informed him that his liver and kidneys were gone. According to Wike, after attending to him, the doctors informed him that the organs were working again. He said the doctors discharged him after about a week and asked him to return home, noting that he altered his itinerary during the campaign for his second term. And the headline says, I was poisoned at PDP Secretariat. My liver, kidney shut down. Wike.
Over to the Premium Times newspaper. Some people wanted interim government in Nigeria. It's a statement credited to Professor Wole Soyinka. The Nobel laureate on Friday having hinted on how some people had schemed to tilt the country towards having an interim government during the 2023 general elections. Mr. Soyinka spoke at an interactive session during the launch of his book titled The Putin Files: Excursions Around the Ideology of Pain in Lagos. He noted that those who were in support of the interim government were only being manipulated. There were reports of plots for an interim government in the build-up to the February presidential election and in the aftermath of the election. In a statement, the State Security Service, SSS, said some key players were plotting an interim government for the country, describing it as an aberration and mischievous. Similarly, the House of Representatives rejected calls for an interim government and warned politicians against provocative statements. The headline, once again from the Premium Times: some people want an interim government in Nigeria. Soyinka.
All right, from the Daily Post again, you're the criminal, not Nnamdi Kanu. Masob fires back at Asari Dokubo. The movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, Masob, has described former militant leader Asari Dokubo as a criminal and an economic saboteur. Masob was reacting to Dokubo's call that President Bola Tinubu should not release Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. After a meeting with Tinubu, Dokubo said releasing Kanu would be a reward for criminality in the southeast. Now, according to Madu, and I quote, Asari Dokubo should be ashamed of himself for biting the finger that fed him by selling his conscience as an object of cheap sabotage against the collective interests of the eastern region in order to get relevance from the federal government. And he fought against and killed her hundreds of military and other security agents. And that ends quote. Another quote says, Asari Dokubo, okay, away from that one, Masob wishes to remind, that's another quote, wishes to remind Asari Dokubo how himself and his militant criminal boys destroyed and vandalized petroleum pipelines. All of this, I quote from Masob, in the name of self-determination agitation for Ijaw people. And the story goes on, but that's the much that I can take.
From the Premium Times again, another headline here. Governor Oti Ikpeazu trade words over Abia's debt burden. Governor Alex Oti of Abia State has accused his predecessor, Okeze Ikpeazu, of leaving a humongous debt burden for the state. The governor was reacting to a statement by Ikpeazu's media aide, Ikechukwu Iroha, claiming that the administration of the former governor left behind over 24 billion naira and another $250 million in the state's treasury. Ikpeazu's administration perfected a $50 million World Bank loan facility at 0.6% interest rate with a 10-year repayment moratorium for construction of more than 500-kilometer roads, including Port Harcourt Road, Aba. The African Development Bank facility of $200 million processed by Ikpeazu's administration is also ready for the new administration to assess for construction of rural roads, he added. Now, the story goes further to say that reacting on Thursday during a press conference, Mike Akpara, the special advisor to Mr. Oti on Finance, refuted the claim, describing it as fictitious. The headline once again, Governor Oti Ikpeazu trade awards over Abia's debt burden.
All right, the Central Bank of Nigeria, still on the Daily Post. The Central Bank of Nigeria has lifted the limits placed on domiciliary accounts. In a statement by the CBN on Sunday, the new regulation allowed account holders to deposit freely, have unrestricted access to funds in accounts, and make up to $10,000 withdrawals daily. And we move to another story right here. This one says the immediate past Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, on Sunday attributed his achievement and success in politics to the roles President Bola Tinubu and former President Muhammadu Buhari played in his life. Aregbesola made this known in Oyo Town, Oyo State. And we take some more stories before we move to another one. And this one says former All Progressives Congress, APC, aspirants in the last elections have appealed to President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima to include them in the governance structure. The former aspirants under the group APC 360 comprises former Assembly, House of Reps, senatorial and governorship aspirants.
All right, quickly, we take this headline from the Nation newspaper. Tinubu has made right decisions so far, says Akpabio Odili Ibori. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and former Rivers and Delta governors, Dr. Peter Odili and Chief Onanefe Ibori, have praised the performance of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying he has so far taken the right decisions to put the country on the right path. We'll take some commercials. When we come back, we'll be getting your reactions to the headlines in the papers this morning. Just stay with us.
Stay tuned to 32 FM 94.9.
It's 7 a.m. Rise up to the tantalizing aroma of Golden Penny Noodles goat meat pepper soup flavor. Golden Penny Noodles. I want what I want.
Ọmọ ikọ̀ ẹ̀yìn gan lásán.
Ẹ wo mo ti lo oògùn ó ti sú mi.
Yé àṣìlò oògùn ìyẹn ò dáa.
Kí ni kí n wá ṣe? nígbà tí mi ò lówó ilé ìwòsàn.
Kí ni? Nígbà tí ètò ìlera INT'L and Axamansard wà nílẹ̀. Òótọ́ ni pẹ̀lú ètò ìlera INT'L Axamansard o láǹfààní láti rí dókítà gba ìwòsàn àtọwọ́ ìwòsàn tó tó ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgọ́rùn-ún náírà. Testa 141*44# báyìí láti yan ètò tó tẹ́ ọ lọ́rùn.
INT'L, a reason to imagine.
Naija people with the yarn better tori abeg.
For Italian league, Osimhen goals come be like 5 and 6. Brah! Na Ballon d'Or remain o.
Hey, Jaruma. Only you? 250K for phone call. 1 million kwa for face-to-face meeting.
No one tells a story like we do. Stream live football, local and international shows on Showmax, Africa's original streaming service. Sign up at showmax.com.
Right. So guys, this is the plan. We go in at sunrise, and we attack without mercy. Glow World Shops won't see us coming. Taye, you are to make sure we get all the best phones, all right?
Yes, boss.
Lara, you have to make sure that we don't miss the 18GB bonus deals for 6 months.
Understood, sir.
Chigozie, your job is to draw up the payment plan. Codename, Pay Small Small. Chigozie, are you sleeping? Chigozie,
relax. There's enough time for you to get your preferred smartphones and enjoy sweet deals at Glow World. Walk into any Glow World shop, your one-stop shop for devices and gadgets, and get 18GB bonus data when you buy your phone, which you can pay for at your convenience.
Glow Unlimited.
I have a little cough, sir, in my little chest, sir. Anytime I cough, sir, it makes a happy sound,
I
sir.
see. You have a cough. I know just what you need. I'll give you Uniplex. It will clear your chest fast. Fast, fast, fast. Clear your chest fast.
Uniplex. Uniplex.
Uniplex cough syrup gives you relief from sore throat, cold and chesty coughs. Manufactured by Daily Needs Industries Limited. Uniplex cough syrup is for children and adults.
Uniplex. Uniplex.
If symptoms persist after 2 days, consult your doctor.
Ìfẹ́ tí kò lábàwọ́n ni ìfẹ́ ìyá jẹ́. Bẹ́ẹ̀ kò sí ohun tó dùn tó bíi Indomie alájẹpọnu lákànlọ́. Nítorí náà, fi ìfẹ́ hàn pẹ̀lú Indomie.
I'm living the life cause I get to Hey, kọ́ńbó ẹ̀kú àlejò imú gbòǹgbò ọ̀nà ẹ̀kú àlejò ẹsẹ̀ Ìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé ẹ̀kú àmójúbà Tizeti Network Limited pẹ̀lú Tizeti ìlò omi òjò lẹ́ẹ̀ máa lo ayélujára íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ní yàwàlù torí pé gbajúgbajà níléeṣẹ́ Tizeti Network Limited nídìí ìpèsè ayélujára lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà fún iléeṣẹ́ ńláńlá àtolókòwò kéékèèké lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti ẹ lè browse kẹ́ stream kẹ́ sì tún gbá géèmù bó ṣe wù yín láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìlànà ẹgbẹ̀lẹ́mùkú data kèé máa ṣeré ìwọ ni kó o má sọ̀fànù 12,500 naira péré lẹ́ẹ̀fi jẹ mùlá data fódìdí oṣù kan gbáko lábẹ́ àbúradà Tizeti láì níkọ̀sẹ̀ ẹ kàn sí wifi.com.ng/oyo ẹ sì lè pe 0122987886 tàbí kẹ́ ẹ tẹ àtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ sí internet@wifi.com.ng ayélujára ní yàwàlù.
32 FM 94.9.
All right, we're back. Thank you for staying tuned. It is now 4 minutes gone past 7 o'clock. It's officially time for you to make your comments on the show and share your reactions and thoughts. The numbers 0705 5000 949 and 0809 7000 949. Hello, good morning. Hello.
All right, do try and call back. You try the other line as well. 0809 7000 949 0705 5000 949. As always, we're live on Facebook right now. You can also share your thoughts on Facebook. That's 32FM 949 Ibadan. 32FM 949 Ibadan on Facebook.
All right, I'll take a comment on Facebook. Omotayo Oluwarotimi Onobamiro says the problem with our electricity and power sector is selfish people want to make a huge profit in that sector in a very short time. Things do not work that way. In most places in the world, it takes a very long time to make a huge profit in the power sector. Hello.
Hello, good morning. Okay, might be having some trouble with the lines, but keep trying. Just keep trying. So hopefully you can get across to us. Some of the talking points in the papers this morning have to do with the NLC. Having said that, the government must meet its demands to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal. Amongst a bunch of other stories, the CBN is also the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, is also in the news. A report from the Punch this morning also has quite interesting take on his time as CBN governor there. So you can also share your reactions with us on this platform.
0705 5949 and 0809 7949. Omota Oluwarotimi continues, says people should not burden the citizenry. A lot of people are suffering greatly in the present circumstances. This is not the time to increase the electricity tariff again. All right, Balkis Onodira on Facebook says the limits on Naira cards should be lifted at the same time that the CBN lifts the restrictions on cash deposits to domiciliary accounts by enabling daily withdrawals of $10,000. With our Naira MasterCards, we ought to be able to transact internationally. It's a significant method of extorting Nigerians because one of the popular alternatives has a high exchange rate and regrettably one of Nigeria's banks.
Morning, DENIKE.
Good morning.
Morning, Ken.
Good morning.
It's okay. Increase in electricity tariff. One of the things I take note first is that we have never gone beyond 5,000 megawatts, at least to my own knowledge. Now coming to increase by 40%. This is also part of the thing that ASU went against concerning the student loan and these issues. Now,
okay, lost that call there. Okay, do try and call back. 0705 5949 0809 7949. Those are the numbers. Once again, Facebook is open to you this morning. You can share your thoughts on Facebook with us. A story in the papers this morning has to do with ex-governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State. He has opened up on how he was poisoned at the Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in December 2018. The former governor disclosed this at a special Thanksgiving service organized in his honor at the St. Peter's Deanery. That's Obio Akpo on Sunday. And of course, Rochas Okorocha is also in the news this morning, having been attacked as well. Some of the stories in the papers. I'd like to get your thoughts on those stories this morning.
All right, there's another story about Tinubu's cabinet infighting as APC leaders jostle for ministerial roles. There's some sort of agitation for ministerial roles that has led to infighting in some state chapters of the APC. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm John Thank you. And I thank you for this program. You just reminded me of the time of Tayo Ogunwadi and Austin Idimu was on the ground in 2019. I'm talking particularly about Senator Bukatuwa's controversial legislative statement, which he made last week. Nigerians may be surprised, but John who's on job, I'm not surprised. Recall that in 2019, the wife Justice Bukatuwa, the president of the Court of Appeal, was initially appointed to chair the presidential election petition tribunal. I was among the few Nigerians of good conscience who criticized that appointment on the ground of likelihood of being biased, as the husband was elected as senator representing Bauchi under the platform of APC, while the son contested and lost as somewhere in Adamawa State under the same platform of APC. Therefore, in my own view, there could be no way Justice Bukatuwa could deliver an impartial judgment without considering the interests of the husband and, by extension, the APC. Someone called in that program.
Okay, 0705 5949 0809 7949. You can keep trying. Hopefully, you can call back and finish up your submission there. Once again, Facebook is open to you. 32FM 949 Ibadan.
Another story that we touched this morning was Aregbeshola's gratitude to Buhari and Tinubu for his successes in his political career. Hello, good morning.
DENIKE, I said, what do we really benefit from those people?
The phone lines. All right. Another story that we also touched this morning was another story here. Says right here, fight against insecurity, corruption will define Tinubu's success. And we also talked about, which we've mentioned before, Governor Wike's confession. Would I call it a confession? Hello, good morning.
Yeah, so this is okay. Calling back.
All right.
So I said, for what do we really benefit from Nigerian governments in previous and present? I remembered when I went to school. That's actually part of the thing. We also talked about education. When I went to school in the 90s, I believe I paid 90 naira school fees. The simple reason was that there was a plan for me to move on. Now the question is, the whole issue, electricity increased, yet we have darkness. For God's sake, what do we benefit from them? They should consider everybody. For God, it's not everybody that has access to that money they loot. We appeal to them. This is not time to increase electricity tariff, for God's sake. Good morning.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, 0705 5000 949 and 0809 7949. Facebook 32FM 949 Ibadan to share your reactions.
Yes, your reactions to that story from the Punch. It reads, police officer killed as gunmen attack Okorocha's convoy. That's one of the stories that catch your eye in the papers this morning as you flip through. Now, it reports that the convoy of former Imo governor Rochas Okorocha was attacked on Friday by gunmen, leaving a police officer dead. The convoy of the former governor was attacked at the Uhube community of the Okigwe Enugu Expressway. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Ayo from Nevada.
All right.
Concerning Bukachua, it happened to virtually all of them, not only that man. If you remember the case of Bayelsa, the governorship election, when they removed the lie or what they are calling it, we can have influence in that judgment because the wife of Odili is at Supreme Court by that time. It happened to all of them. Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Big Collins on the line.
All right, let's hear you.
Please, I want to make one comment. Jagaban is doing well, but the issue of increasing electricity something to 40%, let's tariff, the entire Nigerians. We are still coming out of subsidy removal, and all the promises made concerning putting on some measures in place.
Right.
Let him play have not been done. Let him do that so that take it step by step. Everything else you can, let us not do it at the same time. It will affect Nigerians the most. We are just coming from Buhari regime. Let him not do something that Nigerians will start regretting for voting for him. Please.
All right.
They should look into it.
All right, thank you.
Tackle with cushion, something that cushion the Fed. Not talking of electricity now, please. Too early. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning. It was a pleasure sharing the headlines with you. As always, my name is Kenny Durutilu. The Smart Kid Show is up next.
I am Adenike Ademwagun. Bye for now.